kids, welcome back to Roto Talk.
Hey kids, welcome back. So, it is cold. We have 30-mile-an-hour winds out there, but the snow is mostly gone. So I'm hoping to run this beast at some point. But again, it's just a V-Box. So, one of the things coming up on the channel is I want to do a build. We're going to do a build on electric FE rigger, probably very quickly, because I saw Zip Kits had their R4 come out. I found, thanks to one of my subscribers, and I did see this link once before, but thank you, brother, for pointing it out, because you made me think about it again. There's a kit in Germany that is a wooden skiff, which I've wanted to build a kit skiff for a long time, and I saw that link a long time ago, and I just thought, shipping a wood kit from all the way from Europe, but I might try it. It's $200, might be worth the wait. I emailed them today, we'll see. We're definitely going to be building this, in the upcoming months, a gas rigger. We're going to definitely be building a gas outboard tunnel hull. We're going to be building an electric rigger, at least one, an R4 from Zip Kits, because he just released it, and I'm nosy. I got to see what's going on with that. And possibly that German skiff. We'll see. But anyway, what today's video is about, I told you guys when we built this V-Box, this is the wrong header for this pipe. You can see the pipe's going kind of at an angle. The pipe should be going straight. This should be a 2-inch, I believe, offset. 2-inch out, then over. And this one's a 1.5, I think. But usually, so this should be bigger. My bad. But this is what my buddy's boat had in it that we scalped for this, and so I wasn't going to futz with it. The trick of the day is, do you wrap headers with header tape? Now, I'm a motorcycle guy, always have been. Used to build motorcycles all the time, and you can see in some of these boats, this one actually I need to wrap. But this one's wrapped all the way up, which is way overkill. It needs to be wrapped to there. This one's wrapped, that one's wrapped, that one's wrapped, that one's wrapped. I think these are wrapped underneath. I don't remember if those are, but anyway, it doesn't matter. What fiberglass wrap does for a header, and I learned this from motorcycles. Now, a lot of people, take it for granted. It's like, oh, well, obviously, everybody knows what that does. A lot of people don't, so I'm telling you what it does. What this does, this keeps your skin on your hand, okay? So, like my Indian motorcycle that I have, it's around 1,700 cc's nowadays. That pipe, the pipes on that bike will glow just about, okay? And they will peel the skin right off your body. So if you like that, same thing with these. These little bastards get hot, man, and your skin comes right off. I have tons of scars. That one right there, I don't know, you guys probably can't see it. I don't know if you can see that. It was from last summer. That was a pipe burn. Now, if you're not a dumbass, which I am, and you're careful about getting your boat in and things like that, you usually won't have a problem. But if you're leaning over a pier, or a boat's coming in at you and you're trying to grab it, or you're in a rowboat, or whatever the case may be, things can happen and you can lose your knuckles. So, do you have to do this? Absolutely not. What this does do is it helps keep the heat down, because what fiberglass tape will do is it will dissipate the heat and cover up the heat faster. Okay, I will put the link in the description. This is 1-inch fiberglass wrap. Okay, now if I'm doing a motorcycle exhaust, or any exhaust with some real length, go wide. Like if you have long stretches of straight pipe, go long. If you have short bits, go narrow. And you can mix and match, obviously. But for a boat like this, any of these boats, do 1-inch. I haven't found smaller, okay? Normally, so what this will do, even when you pull this thing right out of the water, you can literally, you can go like that to it, and it won't burn you. Now, it's silly to wrap it past, like, say, here. Because this, yeah, it'll burn you if you set your hand on it long enough. But I'm talking this right here, if you just go, you're done. Your fingertips are gone, all right? It's very, 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 very hot. So most of my boats I do wrap. It keeps the heat down inside the boat. Yeah, it depends on the boat, but it really helps cool everything off, and you don't get flash burn. Okay, but normally what I do is I take the engine out, all right, and I wrap it when the engine's out. Then I put it in. I'm really feeling kind of lazy today. I'm not sure if I want to pull this whole endeavor apart just to make this work. So I think what we'll do is we're going to try and do it in the boat, which I usually don't do. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're not wasting a ton and get an estimate. So let's just do an estimate here. Okay. So let's just say, doesn't have to be perfect. Stuff's not expensive. I think it's cost me like $8 for 50 feet or whatever it was. I usually don't wrap up to here. You can do what you want, but if you're doing it for heat purposes, you might as well go, yeah. So give myself a little bit more. Then what we do, we're going to cut this with a razor knife. Got 50 of them. Okay. All right. This is not rocket science, but it is something that is useful, especially for guys that are running and driving their boats by themselves like I do. I don't have a guy that launches my boats. I don't have a guy that catches my boats. It's me. So I have a controller in my hand when I launch. I usually have a controller. I always have a controller in my hand when I catch it, if I'm catching it. Now, if I'm going out to retrieve it, that's a different devil. But, so what we're going to do, I cut this to length-ish, a little bit longer, and we've got these metal tie wraps. Do not use, now these came with the wrap itself, but I buy these, I buy them in black actually, usually. They're metal, they have like a little, how these work, a lot of people don't know this. There's a little ball bearing in this channel, think of it that way. And when you slide this in, it'll slide forward, but it locks, it won't pull back, okay? So it goes in there, and when it slides in, sorry, this way, okay, like that, the ball locks it, okay? But the trick is you want to twist it up. I'll show you that. But do not use a normal zip strip on these because it will melt. No shit.
What's the matter with me?
So I'm going to go soak this in water, warm water, cold water, whatever. You want to soak it in water. Do not put it on dry. Then usually what I'll do in the summertime,
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky.
I will fire this engine up. I will let it run to hot. Okay, like meaning to temperature, which maybe 50, 60 seconds, a minute. And this is already dried out. And what it'll do, if you put it on wet and really give it a good stretch, and that's going to be hard to do with the engine in there, give it a good stretch, and then when you fire it up, it will evaporate all the water out, and it will shrink, and it'll be nice and tight, and it won't roll on you, okay? We'll see how this goes. I'm not sure if I've ever wrapped one with the engine. It's very difficult to get it, around with the engine in the boat, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to go soak this in some nice warm water, and we'll give it a go. Be right back.
Mexico side, baby. Yeah, that's the thing. The coast side, baby.
Alright, so the first few times you run this boat, it's going to smoke like Jerry Garcia, okay? So, you'll notice, I'm going to wring some of this out. See that black? That's from the dye they use. So you're going to make a mess, alright? I usually actually let mine soak for a fair amount of time. This one I just threw in my quench tank and because it's clean, it's just got Dawn. So what I do with this, wrap it, doesn't matter if it's which way you start out. But what I do is I try to get it under so I'll be able to trim this out. This does make a mess. Don't wear a white t-shirt. Now, we're going to see how successful I am. And you want to hold it, wrap it over itself, pull it tight. It has to be tight. If you don't do it tight, it's not going to work. It's going to unwrap on you. It's going to piss you off. Okay, so we're going to have to clean all this mess up. This is one of the reasons I like doing it with the engine out of the boat, obviously, especially for one of those. I got a buddy of mine, V1, down in my chat group. He is the most cleanest dude I've ever met in my life when it comes to RC models. And he's probably, if he's watching this, shout out to you, brother. If you're watching this, I know you're having a stroke. You've seen all this nasty water on a brand new boat. So I'm wrapping it just up to here. That's the hot point. Once you get past this point, you're okay. All right? So we'll trim that off in a bit. So I'm going to try, let's see, let me grab a clamp just to hold this for a second. Wipe the schmutz off my hands. Okay? Then we're going to take one of these fancy dancy stainless tie wraps, and I'm going to start it. Now again, you want to go like that. You want to have access to this band here. Okay? Like that. Now you'll see I'll zoom in with some creative editing. I'll slide this in, and you pull back, it doesn't pull back, but it'll go forward. It's like a catch. All right, we're going to take a nice, reasonably narrow needle nose pliers. And I'm going to bring this down to the point where it's not huge. You don't have to use the clamp, but definitely comes in handy. Now, I usually use 2. And I try to make it so you don't see the buckle, but not always does it work. But for camera purposes, I'm going to make it so the buckle's on top. Okay. Now, how I do this, after it's on, I take some needle nose and I rotate this back. Hopefully you can see this. Okay? And that makes it good and tight. Alright, then what I'll do is you can cut it with like a dike, like a side cutter. Please, LGBTQ MGLPs, don't get offended because I called it a dike, because that's what it's called. Anyway, take a side cutter. In case people don't know, these are called dikes in the industry. Anyway, somebody will get offended. Everybody's always offended. So then you should make them go the same direction so you don't look like a redneck, but that's okay. And we're going to do this. Now, you can be those guys that say, you're adding more weight. Yes, I am. I'm adding another ounce of weight. It's a cracker box. It's not the space shuttle. And I'm not this isn't a race boat anyway, because it's a V-box. There is no class for V-boxes. And even my hydroplanes, I wrap them. Because I burn myself. I'm a klutz. I do it all the time. Okay? Those are good and tight. Now that won't unwrap, which is a happy day. Now, if you guys have a better way, if there's somebody out there that watches this, and you're like, hey, dude, I do it like this, please let me know. This is just ways I've figured out over the years. One. 2. Okay? Now, I cut mine, like that one's a razor blade right there. That little edge. That might hurt worse than getting burned. So make sure these are stainless steel. They will cut you. Okay? Nice. All right. Now this bit here, we can cut off with our LGBT pliers, our dikes. And these are so dull. Oh, wow, they still work. These are good. These fuckers are older than I am. It's pretty good. All right. That's it. Not bad. Cut your little frays off. Now, over a year or so, yeah, it might unwrap a little bit on you. Get loose. But you don't want it to. I have one boat. What boat is it? Actually, it was this one, if I remember right. The original wrap on it wasn't very good, wasn't very tight. So, yeah, there we go. Now, when you run this, don't fool yourselves. Like, if you get fancy and you do the red wrap and the chartreuse wrap or whatever color you get, unicorn throw-up cereal you get, once this thing gets hot about 4 times, this is going to be white. Okay, I'm going to show you an example. on the Bullet here, which is Blazer Marine Gen 3, okay? This was red, like dark red. Look at it now. Here's where it gets really, really hot. There's where it cools off. It was like red. Now it's like some gay-ass pink thing. Now, they do sell some kind of treatment that you can spray on there that actually locks the color in. You saw, I just squeezed it and black crap came out all over the place. Look at that, my nice new hoses, all jack nasty.
Is the hangman dead then? Out with it then, Jock Nasty Face. Is it that your mother's turned into an honest woman?
Alright, I don't care what it looks like. I just want to keep it from burning my fingers off when I grab it in a bad way. Because especially like, you're grabbing a hot boat and you're standing in a, see, WD-40 on a rack. And you're standing in a rowboat and you got a hot boat and you're trying not to tip the hell over and look like an asshole. It's nice not to get burned. Okay. So there, no big deal. So it's kind of up to you if you want to do this or not. I have a lot of scars. I have scars from car wrecks, boat wrecks, like real boat wrecks, motorcycle crashes, welding, you name it. I've got a scar for it, and I don't need any more. So I put a little bit of wrap on there, and believe it or not, I can run this boat. I can touch that. Now, you don't have to fire this up and let it get warm to dry this out. You can just let it air dry. It's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. Okay. I'm not going to fire this one up because it's cold outside and I don't want to open up the shop and I don't want to fire this thing up in here right now. But yeah, I think for the $8, a roll of this stuff lasts you a fair amount of time. Okay, no need to wrap it like up to here or anything like that. That's really about it. So just a little bit of kind of a tip. If you want to try it, try it. It works well. Sometimes it looks really cool. My drag boat. Here's the drag boat. That one's wrapped all the way up. That's almost more for looks. But if you can see here now, I don't know if I've done a boat overview of this yet. This is my Rico Racing Drag Cat. This boat, there's very little room here. And it's not only when I grab the boat out of the water, honestly. Sometimes it's when I'm carrying it because it's like, okay, I just blew a prop or I need to do something. So I'm carrying it back up the hill and I burnt my arm like here or whatever because I'm not thinking, because you got all these things going through your head. I don't know. Sometimes it's just do it, don't do it, whatever. It's just an idea. So keep dry side up, kids. Have a good one.
Gangnam Style.